Hey y'all, how y'all doing today? Welcome back to A Break with Kit Kat. But before we jump into today's episode, I just want to take a second to show some love. A Break with Kit Kat is officially worldwide. Yes, we are global, baby. Big shout out to my listeners in Nigeria, Russia, the UK, and Saudi Arabia. I see y'all tuning in. I see y'all. And I appreciate the love more than you know. To everyone rocking with me from day one and to my new fam across the globe, thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, let's get into it because today we're talking about on time blessings. And trust me, you don't want to miss this one. And I know I'm late, y'all. I know I'm late. Don't beat me up in the comments, but like my topic says, on time blessings. You might not have been ready to hear it yesterday, but I know y'all gonna be ready to hear it today. So stay tuned.
Give me a break, take it slow. A break with Kit Kat. Give me a break, take it slow. Give me a break, take it slow. Unwind with Kit Kat. A little me time. Let's look is for you. Let's set the mood right. See every story, every voice, plus every shine. A break with Kit Kat is your time. Take it slow. Unwind with Kit Kat. A little me time. Let's look is for you. Let's set the mood. Give me a break, take it slow. Unwind with Kit Kat. A little me time. Let's look is for you. Let's set the mood right. See. Unwind with Kit Kat. A little me time. Let's look is for you. Let's set the mood right.
Welcome back to A Break with Kit Kat, the space where we unpack life, love, lessons, and everything in between. I'm your host, obviously, as always, Kit Kat, and today's episode is one I know is going to touch some hearts. We're talking about on time blessings, those moments where everything just clicks, not on our schedule, but right on God's. Now, listen, I know how frustrating it is to want something right now, a job, a relationship, a breakthrough, a healing, and feeling like it's never gonna come. But I promise you, some of the best blessings don't come early or late, they come right on time. So go ahead, grab your tea, your coffee, your wine, or whatever helps you unwind. And let's talk about the beauty in delay, the growth in waiting, and the blessings that show up exactly when we need them. Let's be real. We live in a culture of now. Fast food, instant messages, same day delivery, everything is about speed. So when life slows us down, when that call doesn't come, when that door doesn't open, it feels like punishment. But here's what I've learned: delay does not mean denial. Sometimes the universe, or God, or whoever or whatever you believe in, is saying, not yet. I'm still preparing you. I'm still setting the stage. Think about it. How many times have you ever wanted something only to realize later you weren't really ready for it? Maybe you prayed for love, but you hadn't healed yet. Maybe you asked for the promotion, but your mindset wasn't there. Maybe you thought you were ready for more, but you were still struggling with less. Timing is everything, and sometimes protection looks like a closed door. So let me tell you a little story about my situation where I felt like I was rushing everything. Let's see. So recently, I had tried to purchase a new car. Like last year, the car that I had was parked. I'm sitting here parked at a grocery store, sitting, chilling, listening to music, vibing with my husband, right? And then all of a sudden, some lady comes to my window and was like, "Your car is on fire." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" I'm sitting like I'm sitting in the front seat. Like, and then that's when I saw the smoke and the flames, and I just like my life is over. I found out my insurance had lapsed. And then I found out that I missed an email. Oh, yeah, they don't service Virginia anymore. So that was done. I couldn't get my money back. I couldn't pay for the car. Everything fell apart. The transportation had become a major issue. We only have one car, and our working schedules, they were hard to match with. Of course, my husband did everything he could to make it work, but I knew I needed a car soon and fast. 6 months later, I had some income coming in, and of course tax time had came. So I was like, you know what? It's time to get a car. It's time to buy a new car. I knew my credit was not the best, but I knew this big lump sum of money was coming. And then of course everything else started coming too. Of course, bills don't stop. So I'm waiting for this money to come. I'm waiting. I'm rushing the system. I'm rushing everybody. I'm making calls. I'm calling all types of government agencies to help rush the process. Of course, it still took a minute to come, and something just happened, like I got this money, like some unexpected money coming, into my pockets, and I was able to pay my bills, and I had extra money, and then the money that I knew was coming, I was going to have a lot more of it, that I could save and not spend. So a couple of days later, the money hit my account, and the car that I had wanted, they told me that it was gone. They told me I didn't want a car anyways because there were so many issues with it and X, Y, and Z. But something that same day happened, and they had got a new car on the lot, and they were like, "Well, test drive it." And I was like, okay. So I test drove it. It was a 2020. And I was like, wow, I never had a 2020 before. We in 2025. This car is 5 years old. So I'm feeling myself. And I was like, of course, I'm not going to get approved for it. Like, this is a 2020. My credit is shot. Lo and behold, they approved me. Of course, the stipulations were a lot worse than what they actually, but I was determined to get this car. So I got the car, like I had like the rules or the conditions for the bank to go ahead and finance my car, or that I had to put a lot more down, and um the interest rates were high. And I took it to my bank, I took it to a couple of other banks, and they were like, "Oh my goodness, you're basically paying for two of these cars." So I was like, maybe this is a bad idea. But something in me kept telling me, like, wait, just wait on it. Wait on it. Like, give it some time. If it's still there, it was meant to be. And I was like, what am I even waiting on? I'm at the point I'm going to work every day, no car still, getting dropped off. I'm like, what am I waiting for? I could just get a cheaper car and be happy with the fact that I'm, driving it around, riding it around. But I had a lady come up to me at work, and she was just like, I've noticed you for a long time. From the moment we checked into this hotel, I knew that you were special, and the Lord spoke to me. The Lord spoke to me and told me that I need to help you. And, of course, we had like normal conversations throughout the day. I gave her the utmost respect and care during her stay, while I know some of my coworkers were not. And her and her husband had came to me with an envelope, and she, took my hands in hers and was like, don't open it until you clock out, but I just wanted to let you know that we really appreciate you, and we, like, you're like our family now, so like whatever you need, or if you ever want to just talk or go to lunch or something, give me a call. And with that, she left. So of course I waited until my shift ended. I got in the car, and I opened the card, and it had a long paragraph of, how amazing I am, and what kind of impact I brought on her. And along with that card came a check, and like, I kid y'all not, this check had exactly what I needed. Like the check, and I felt uncomfortable. I was like, how can I take this from this lady? So I was just like, let me call her the next day, and like, insist on giving it back. So I called her, and I was like, when I saw the check, I started crying. Like, I never had anyone do this for me, and you've only known me for maybe a month because she's staying here long term. And she was like, no, the God told me to do this, and who am I to disobey God? And she was like, please take this check. This is for me and my husband. And you need that recognition. You're not getting it at work clearly. You need the recognition. And here is that recognition. And like I said, call me for anything. I promise we are here for you. And that meant so much to me. I felt like I couldn't even cash this check. I felt like if I cashed this check, I wouldn't never like I needed this reminder that I was a good person. And I was just like, this is enough to get this car. So I kept the card and I have it in a safe spot in my house. And I went ahead and cashed the check. And then I picked up my car. I picked up my dream car that I know I'm going to have. And the car itself is a big reminder of that lady because without her, I would have never gotten the car. And it came in the nick of time because there were so many people interested in buying the car. But it was just like there was a sign like this car was for me and I deserved it. And now I'm going to own that. There was a time I thought I was ready to level up, career wise, emotionally, even spiritually. I was doing everything right on the surface, but behind closed doors, I was burnt out. I was doubting myself, and I was surrounded by people who didn't clap when I won. If the blessing had come then, I would have lost it. I wasn't equipped to keep what I thought I deserved, and it hurt. But looking back now, that delay saved me. It gave me time to grow into the version of myself that I could sustain the blessing. And I know I'm not alone. You might be listening right now and thinking, why hasn't it happened yet? Why do I keep getting passed over? Why is everybody winning but me? But let me ask you this. What if your blessing is waiting on you to be ready? What if the door is being held shut, not to hurt you, but to help you? Right now, currently, I lost that job. The job that I was just at, the lady gave me that check, and that was my last day of work. And of course, immediately I had a new job at the same type of business. And I just got the call that they didn't like me. So I'm back at square one. I know that the job that I want is waiting for me. And I know that right now it's just that time where you're I'm not ready. I'm not ready, but I will be soon. I can feel it. I know that I love hospitality and I know that my job is there and it's waiting for me. And whatever you're waiting for is waiting for you to be ready. It's not, it's not, nothing is hurting you. You're still alive, you're still thriving. But the one thing that you want is just not ready. You're not there yet, but you will be. Have patience. When you shift your mindset from why me to what am I being prepared for, that's when the magic happens. It's not always about getting the blessing, it's about being the blessing. It's about whole, steady, and wise enough to recognize that what's coming is better than what you were asking for. You might be praying for a little rain, not knowing a whole storm of favor is on the way. You might be chasing crumbs, not knowing you're about to be seated at the table. The wait isn't always punishment. Sometimes it's divine alignment. Now, let's talk about faith because trusting in divine timing requires faith over frustration. You might not see the finish line, but you gotta trust the path. You might feel alone, but you are not forgotten. And you might feel delayed, but you are never denied. Favor will find you where you least expect it. That's no you got last year. It might have been the biggest yes in disguise. That breakup, it might have been the setup for your breakthrough. That job you didn't get, maybe it saved you from a toxic work environment. It's hard to see the blessing in the storm, but when it comes, and it will, you'll understand why it had to take the time that it did. So let's pause for a moment. If you have a journal or even just some mental space, I want you to reflect on this. What is something you've been waiting on that hasn't happened yet? What have you learned during this waiting period? Could it be that you're being protected or prepared? Are you truly ready to receive what you've been asking for? This is your space to be honest with yourself. It's okay to be tired of waiting, but while you wait, don't forget to grow. Water your roots so when the blessing comes, you're strong enough to hold it. So, moral of my story, sometimes your blessing won't come from where you expect it'll come from, where you least expect. Wait, what the fuck? Moral of my story, sometimes your blessings won't come from where you expect. It'll come from where you least expect, right when you need it most. I went from feeling helpless and stuck to riding around in a 2020 Nissan Rogue because someone saw my worth and decided to bless me. That's not luck. That's alignment. That's favor. That's an on time blessing. So don't let the delays, denials, or disappointments fool you. What's meant for you will find its way to you right on time. And I know and I feel in my soul that this job that I'm waiting for is right around the corner. And I know whatever you are waiting for, it's right around the corner. Here's a reminder for you, babes. What's meant for you will never miss you. It may take time, it may come in a different package, but when it shows up, it'll be right on time. Your story isn't delayed, it's unfolding. And even if it doesn't feel like it right now, you are exactly where you need to be. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. I hope you feel uplifted, encouraged, and grounded in the belief that everything is working in your favor, even the things you don't understand yet. If today's episode spoke to you, share it with someone who needed to hear this. And don't forget to subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, next Wednesday, whew, we're going there. The topic is forgive, but don't forget. We're talking healing, boundaries, and why forgiveness doesn't mean you have to let people back into the same space they broke. It's about protecting your peace and your power. So make sure you tap in because it's going to be real, raw, and absolutely necessary that you hear this. Until then, take a break when you need it and don't forget to treat yourself like the blessing you are. See you next week on A Break with Kit Kat.
Give me a break, take it slow. A break with Kit Kat. Give me a break, take it slow. Give me a break, take it slow. Unwind with Kit Kat. A little me time. Let's look as well. Let's set the mood right. See every story, every voice, plus every shine. A break with Kit Kat, it's your time. Take it slow. Unwind with Kit Kat. Let's look as well. Let's set. Give me a break, take it slow.